Destiny 2 Tractor Cannon Weapon Review. Anyway, the Tractor Cannon, I'd say, is one of the craziest weapons I've seen in Destiny as a franchise. Most likely because of what this gun does. The design is kind of cool, but it kind of reminds me of the portal gun. Which I'd say it's an odd familiarity, and, well, I'd say it does look like it. The only difference is the two tubes on top making that little flame thing. Anyway, the first perk is Repulsor Force. This weapon fires a powerful impulse to push enemies away. So, basically this is a, your good old Skyrim Fusroda being, basically you can push enemies off cliffs, off the map, into a wall. The only thing that I didn't notice that you couldn't push are the larger enemies like hive ogres and whatnot, and definitely not spider tanks, and the occasional boss. Like, hopefully sooner or later they'll get a new strike which is like similar but probably better than the Scion flares. Like the same premise of like 3 small bosses or multiple small bosses and whatnot, but the Tractor Cannon is going to come into play there because the size of the boss takes in count when it comes to the Tractor Cannon's pushback capabilities. AKA, well, it's a lot. Like, it's very good for crowd control. Like, if there's an absolute ton of those Cabal dogs, like from the inverted Spire strike, just as a reference, and all those dogs are coming into you, your other 2 teammates are dead, maybe, not sure. That happens a lot. And you happen to have ammo for your Tractor Cannon. Well, the Tractor Cannon groups all those guys up, so maybe throw a grenade and keep pushing them back into said grenade, and the shot of the Tractor Cannon itself does a good amount of damage. Like, it's basically what the game identifies as a shotgun, so at close range, pull this thing's trigger, and it will do stuff. It'll push the enemy back out off the map into a wall or just very far away. It's kind of unlucky that it pushes very far away, because then you don't really have anything else to do other than maybe switch to your secondary or get shot. And but then there's also the fact that they might slam into a wall and doing the whole thing, like, back then in Taken King where you got shot by those phalanx shields and you get splattered on the wall and die. Well, basically you can do that with the Tractor Cannon. Yes, you can finally get payback on all those taken phalanxes that have thrown you off cliffs and whatnot, which is, surprisingly for me, quite a lot. And anyway, the other few perks on here, you got extended barrel, more range, and a little bit smaller on the handling speed. It kind of makes sense. Like, the thing is basically you stick your arm in the thing, so yeah, it kind of makes sense. Then the particle repeater increases stability, which is okay, not that amazing for a shotgun, but I'd say it fits with the theme that it doesn't actually shoot bullets, it just, pushes stuff back. Then you have scientific method, which is its trait, damaging an opponent temporarily increases handling and speed. So if you get enough hit markers with this thing, you can go around very fast, which I'd say is kind of the good side to this thing if you accidentally haven't been able to push somebody against a wall, because if you shoot the guy, it's only like half health, like probably in the Crucible. Like, this gun, I don't really recommend too much for the Crucible, but I'd say it's definitely fun to see like a Warlock or a Titan falling off the map. Like, a Hunter can easily recover because of the double triple jump thing that they have. But the thing is that more likely than not they'll fall and off the map, and you'll get maybe an assisted suicide. And after that, you got the whole composite stock for stability and handling. For the actual stats on this thing, impact is a little bit over halfway, so it's not the best shotgun in terms of one-shot capability. But hey, in terms of PvE, this thing's awesome, and it's definitely fun to use. Range is pretty good. Like, you saw from the, what's it called, the trailer, the reveal trailer, when this thing was actually first shown, and nobody really knew what it was and what it did, but all they knew is that it looked kind of like the portal gun. That it has quite a lot of spread, and that its range is actually pretty good. Stability is almost maxed out, which is pretty crazy, but it kind of makes sense. Handling is on a bit of the low side, but it's still good enough. Reload speed is kind of slow, but at least it still uses like some sort of magazine instead of having to load each shell in like every other shotgun. Rounds per minute is 804, which I'd say it's pretty good, especially for a PvE shotgun. And it also makes up a little bit in PvP because of the rate of fire, but then you only get 2 kills because you only get 4 shots, aka a full magazine in this case for the tractor cannon in PvE. So yeah, that's not all that great. Overall, this is just a fun gun, and it is a blast to use. The only problem is that it's hidden behind the random number generator known as engrams. At least those are not the good old Infinity Ward type, aka pay to win. These are, you can be able to just go ahead and get them. Well, anyways, see you later.